Welcome back, everybody, to the weekend show. Where I'll be breaking down the stock market and some cryptos today because that is taking a massive beating. So, before we get started, please hit that like button, and that is greatly appreciated. And if you're new here, definitely consider subscribing. Now, we've been doing really good with daily trade ideas, swing trade ideas. Recently, with market volatility, there is lots of trades going on. And if you're really serious about trading and you want to do this full time, definitely check out my link down in the description for Patreon. And you get daily trade ideas, swing trade ideas, live trading, and all kinds of long term and short term setups. And now let's get right into the market. All right, so welcome back once again. We need to talk about a lot of things. So let's get started. We saw the biggest drop, especially right now. If you look at the crypto market, I mean, look at this Bitcoin down 7%. We got a lot of the things. Ethereum down over 10%, trading at 2,400 right now. Everything, I mean, XRP, you name it, anything related to crypto, it's down big time today. Now, if you look at gold and silver, boy, oh boy, it actually took a massive beating on Friday, down over 8%. You can see silver took the massive beating. It was down 1 point, I think, over 30%. But look at right here, 15%, and then platinum also down 16%. Now we do have a new Fed chair that's going to take office uh, this May, and I don't think market likes him, Kevin Warsh. I don't like him. He did not do any good job before back in financial crisis back in 2008, and this guy is just a puppet that's Trump just putting in the office right now, which is going to bring the rates down, which is good, especially if you're borrowing money and getting like easy money. But I don't think market likes it, and that's why you're seeing lots of volatility in the market, and market just going back and forth. We got lots of data this week. We have Thursday, we got initial jobless claims. We got Friday non-farm payrolls, unemployment rate. That's going to be one, especially Jay Powell watching to see what those numbers are, and even I think Trump also would be looking at that come Friday. We got ISM also this week, but then we have lots of earnings. We got AMD, we got AAA, we got Pepsi. Right at opening on Monday, we have Disney. Then we have Palantir after closing. But the biggest one we have Wednesday, we have Google, QCOM. We got Snap. Then we have Amazon on Thursday. So lots of things happening this week, guys. Fear and greed index 58. So we're back on greed, and things are just not going anywhere. Now, if you look at what market did on Friday and even Thursday, well, a lot of chop. Advancing, you can see 34%, declining 62%. Dow down 0.36%, Nasdaq down nearly 1%, S&P down 0.43%, and Russell going down 1.41%. 11 sectors that actually makes up the S&P 500 on top. Consumer defensive led the way, and then healthcare. Everything else was in deep red. And look at basic materials. That one was leading the charge past couple of days to couple of weeks, and it's down nearly 6%. But week to date, energy led the way, and you do not want to see energy outperforming S&P 500, and this is what we're seeing. So maybe energy takes a backseat come next week, and we get to see some rally in the market if the market can actually hold up. But you can see technology also was down with Microsoft this week big time. Stock market map, you can see right here. Walmart was up. You can see consumer defensive was up pretty much in the green. Tesla was up with the news merger with possibly SpaceX. Meta down 3%, Google flat. We got Amazon down 1%, Apple going green 0.5%, Palantir down over 3.5% Oracle down. Microsoft was down once again 0.74%. Nvidia was down 0.72%, and finally, AMU, this stock was down nearly 5%. And now, before we get started on anything, cryptos are crashing, so I think we need to look at Bitcoin for a second before we get to S&P 500. All right, so as of right now, Bitcoin is crashing down about 8%. So the bear flag did play out. I did actually make a video a couple days ago, But it's not about Bitcoin. This is about stock market, but this is a risk on asset. So I would like to look at it when these types of moves are actually happening. You can see we're getting pretty close to 77,000 here. We do have support around that 74.564 to even 72 right here, and I'm just rounding things up. But going into next week, we saw what happened with silver and gold. A lot of people got margin calls, and now who knows, they might be taking money out of here and covering their margin call from crypto money, and that's why a lot of the money going out of these assets right here. Same thing goes for Ethereum. Huge beat down today. No signs of any dip buying. I mean, look at this. I mean, it just going down straight. There isn't actually a bounce. It's getting really oversold. So let's see if this thing can actually hold up here around that 74K to maybe even that 72 range. But definitely, it's not a good signal when Bitcoin is a risk on asset. It's not a good signal for S&P and especially for NASDAQ 100 when it comes to opening and trading next week, guys. On Triple Q, it was down Friday 1.20%, but it's been down for the entire week. What happened here? And you guys saw on my big mega cap update last week, I'm not going to share that play that we showed it. Triple Q here, pretty much at the top, getting 625 puts. And boy, oh boy, this one and SMH, we killed it. A lots of money that came in, especially on that short position. And you can see, look at this candle, huge rejection. And whenever you see gap up over upper Bollinger Band. This was a gap up and go. Guess what? We went short even in the short term as well. Not only swing trade, even a day trade made a lot of money on Qs. So if you're really serious, guys, I mean, this was a big trade. SMH was a big trade. If you're really serious about trading, and I mean it, only serious people. If you're not serious, you're just browsing or this is your side gig. I'm not the guy. My channel is not the channel, and you're not serious. Do not even think about doing something with my trade ideas. Only for serious people, people that are actively trading and making money, and this is what they want to do. This is what they want to breathe, eat, and sleep all day. Then definitely check out that link in the description for Patreon. Now, Triple Q, you can see we did close below the 20-day moving average, which is at 622.53. And the next key support we came really close to on Thursday session, and Friday we're just sitting at 622 right here. So watch out for that 617 50-day moving average and the support itself. If that gives up, we could see a drop down to 613 and possibly into 610, lower Bollinger Band all the way down to 606.85. We get some sort of a counter trend rally. We need to get over the 20-day moving average, 622.53. If that happens, we could see a push back up to 628, maybe even 620.17, these highs right up here. And then we can look at maybe going back to previous all-time highs. As of right now, with crypto selling off this aggressively right now, it's definitely not looking good for NASDAQ 100. And I think weekend Wall Street NASDAQ is down about 0.5% or slightly over that. So if that's the case, we might open even red come Monday morning. On SPY ETF, it's barely down. Now, people will say, well, a lot of dip buyers coming in. This was a hammer. Yes. A lot of dip buyers coming in here. Yes. But how much we're actually off from all-time highs? I mean, barely, barely. I mean, this was the all-time high. We got hit last week. This was Wednesday. We hit an all-time high by few, not even, whole dollar. Or pretty much, just brushing off to a new all-time high. And that was it. Immediately faded, came back. We came all the way down to look at this dip here on Thursday. Under that key support 685, we went back up. We closed pretty much near high of the day, but again faded on Friday. But if you look at my screen, it's holding over that 690 20-day moving average. On NASDAQ, it's not. So this key zone 689 to 690 has to hold come Monday morning. If not, you're going to see continuation to the downside, 685.88, maybe down to even 683, 682, and then even a flat 680. But something big is brewing, guys. A lot of the banks are again blowing up, and we have a new Fed chair, which I think the worst pick from Trump. I think Powell, if you think Powell is actually the worst pick or bad guy right now for not cutting rates, This guy is a flip flop. I mean, he would just go back and forth. What he did back in 2008 in financial crisis, he wanted to raise rates when inflation was down, like it was actually 1.7, I believe. I mean, this guy is just pathetic. So I don't think market really likes Kevin Warsh, and that's why you're seeing lots of volatility in the market. Even IWM, it's coming down. So unless we see some clear path this week, and don't forget there is a partial government shutdown right now taking place. That does not really affect market because last time we had a government shutdown, market hit all-time highs. So that's not something that I would really look into. But as of right now, there are some stress in the banking system, and some of the banks are blowing up, and it can get worse. The way cryptos are trading, that's telling us that something big is going to happen. And so far, we're not seeing that effect in the stock market. What happened to not only crypto, silver? Nobody was expecting this, but I was telling you guys, especially with my silver short position, that when you see monthly RSI going to 95, that's going to come back. I'm going to make money. But a lot of people, when they buy, if the trade goes against them, they get scared. They're not gonna add anymore. They're stressed out and just gonna give it up or sell for a loss. And then, if you capped it, it was down. But if you capped it, you could have made a lot of money, on that short position on silver. Same thing happened with one of the names. What was that? PLTR. Another one, SNDK. What happened on Friday? A gap up and then gave back, I think, the entire gains and came back and filled the gap, which is really insane what types of moves we're seeing in the market, guys. So be careful, especially going into next week, and watch these key zones. If this thing can actually, move back up, we need to get over 94. In that case, we could see maybe another, all-time high. Maybe that 700 is still possible on SPY. But as of right now, with crypto selling off, we'll see how the market reacts when market opens Monday morning. So Dow Jones also was down 0.24%, and you can see it came down to lower Bollinger Band, that 484 support. We did not still fill that gap completely right here, right about 483.95. So that should be a strong support, 484. Right here, gap fill reversal. But if that does not hold, we could be going down even more. 483 is the 50-day moving average, and then 480, another key support, all the way down to 476. We also have a gap down here near 472. To the upside, now we need to get over that 489.66 and then 491.33 to see more upside here on Dow, possibly back up to all-time highs. So IWM also down 1.41%. In IWM, you can see we gapped down. We are not able to go back up to close the gap near 270. And now to the key support right here, we did hit that support. We went slightly under on Friday, 258. And that is the key zone come Monday morning. 258 gives up. There is nothing stopping IWM from coming all the way down to the 50-day, and the key support, previous rejection, now can act as a support, and that's going to be around 252. And underneath that, we have this gap 249. Now, this is a weekly breakout. So if this can actually hold up here at 258, and we can get over 261.44 and then get over the 5-day moving average 263, it can definitely go right back up to 265 and then 269.42 to close the gap on top. On VIX is up 3.32%. So VIX was up on Thursday, massive move, got crushed again, and then another big move on Friday's session. But you can see it's not actually holding over 18, but still it's elevated. You can see, I mean, this thing is just holding up. And now the question here, if this thing breaks 18 and holds here, and if we can take out these highs right here, like 21, it's heading into blue skies, like 23.80, maybe even into 25, $26, and maybe into like 30s, 28, 30s. That's possible. Now also keep that in mind with VIX. In last couple of months, every time this thing goes up, it gets crushed down immediately. I mean, look at these examples right here. Boom. Just took like what, 2 3 days. Right here, what happened? Just a couple of days back down to a new low here almost. Then it was down here. Now we're going back up. So it does not mean that we cannot go back up. But the main thing here from VIX, whenever this thing goes up rapidly, within day or two, the most cases, like 5 days, it would be back down to like $15 or under that. So VIX going up, that means an opportunity, but you don't want to go and long everything, especially when market's still sitting near all-time highs. So you want to wait for that. Key support on VIX, 16.63, and then flat 16 all the way down to $15. So watch these levels, and especially to the upside, it gets over 18. We could be going into 20s, maybe even into 23.80 up to 25 and even 28. On dollar, it's up nearly 1%, but dollar has been just getting absolutely hit. And you can see we actually broke this monthly trend line. I mean, from these lows 14 years ago, and so far this trend line it's been holding up. Now, if the dollar is going down and crashing, do you think that's a good signal for the economy? Because you want a strong dollar, you want the dollar to dominate. You don't want other currencies to go up against the dollar, and that's just not overall really a good thing. So dollar here, guys, this key zone has to hold right here around that 97 to 97 mark. If we can find a bottom here, this thing rises back up, at least that would be a good signal. But again, when this thing goes up, something else, especially S&P 500, could give back some of those gains, but that's totally fine. Then having a weaker dollar, but if you just get a correction on S&P 500, as long as dollar holds up this 14-year-old support, that is the thing that I'm watching right here. And I think it can hold up because you can see a few times before it actually broke under, even right here, then we came back up. But right now we're just toying with that support, and you can see we're sitting pretty much underneath that right now. And we need to actually recover here on dollar to see more upside. And that's all I have for you guys in this video, and I'll definitely keep you guys updated.